Hi guys, so earlier this year we bought some factory seconds volumes from the relatively new company from Poland, Ava Volumes, for our home climbing wall. And since then we were asking ourselves one question: can we set volumes only boulder on our wall? And today we'll try to answer that. So those volumes are pretty cool because they check out like 4 out of 5 things that I look in volumes. Number one is like interesting shapes, and those definitely have those. Ava have a lot of like pretty flat volumes that is super cool for not very overhanged walls. Second thing is like durable inserts. Basically those are indestructible, so you don't have to worry about bumping them out or later trying to fix them. Another super cool thing is that they have those washers for screws made the way that basically it's super easy to take them out. In some volumes it actually like gets stuck and it's a lot of trouble to deal with this. Another thing by which you can recognize a well-made volume is that if you put it on the wall and put even only one screw in, it will basically stay in place, and you can already see how it looks on the wall, so without putting more screws. Last but not least is the friction of the volumes. Many people think that friction on volumes or climbing holes should be like super good to be well made, but I don't think it's true. I think it's really good when you have holes and volumes with different kinds of friction, good and bad. But for what I'm looking for in volumes and climbing holes is for it to be durable, so it would stay the same for as long as possible. And Ava actually experimented a lot with it, and their production volumes have really good friction that stays the same for a very long period of time. So the only downside is that they are a little bit heavy, but if you made the solid volumes they kind of have to be heavy and it's hard to keep the weight low. So let's get to setting. We are going for something like I don't know. So let's get into setting. We are going for something definitely interesting. We don't want it to be too hard because we have a lot of plans for this wall and not that much time to climb this problem. I certainly want to use those banana shape holes because I think like they are one of the coolest shapes that we have. I want it to be climbable by Magda, which is a little bit weaker than me right now. So setting with volumes is a little bit like setting with directional holes, because like you can't crimp on it, so the angle on which they work is relatively low. There will be probably a lot of compression and hopefully some cut losing, which shouldn't be that hard because once again on volume you can't like stand very well and work with your feet, you have to use your core, so it's really easy to make climbers cut loose from the wall. Okay, so usually when I set with volumes I put everything on the wall without testing, and there are two reasons for that. One, it's a little bit faster, and two, it's even if the problem won't be climbable in a way that I want it to be climbable, maybe I will be able to find some other solution, so it still will be fun to test it. So last thing that I will do before getting to setting, we'll see how those volumes can be stuck on each other, because I haven't experimented with it yet and I want to know like which volume matches each one and if they can be put together. Like this basically looks already super cool. I'm thinking that it will start something like this with a heel hook here, but now that I'm like getting into the position I see that it's a little bit too narrow, so I will probably move this volume a little bit further to the right.
So how is it going?
It's kind of hard to say because I think it's kind of cool and I think it might work, but it might be a little bit harder than I wanted. So for now I will just go with the idea, and I guess I will change things in the process of testing because for now I like it. So I think like the whole success of this boulder depends on if the knee-bar here will stick or not, because
Spoilers!
I'm hoping it might work, but it just may not.
Well, that was kind of quick then.
I mean, like, it's super easy to set boulder. It's not that easy to make it climbable. So usually,
for now it is a boulder, but it may not be possible to make it.
yeah, it's the setting part is easy. The testing part is when, like, the, let's say, route setting skill comes in, and how fast you can make changes to a boulder and how little changes you can make it. I'm like hoping that it is completely fine, but if I will just have to move one hold or add one foothold, then I also will be satisfied. But if it will come to making like a lot of changes and testing it all over again, then I will feel as a failure.
You count it as a defeat.
Yeah.
Okay, so you add chalk to the volumes to make them less slippery, right?
I mean, like, it's not as much as slippery. I think like the theory is that the holes have some kind of texture that you have to like feel a little bit with the chalk, so they would become a little bit better. Because they are not slippery, they weren't used, but yet with the chalk they feel like better to hold. So I think it's about like feeling the texture with the chalk more than making it less slippery. My biggest weakness as a route setter is that I can never commit to like first try on the boulder, because I never believe that it can work. So I will try to work on this today and commit to every try.
That was the first try.
Yeah, I did not commit.
Is it even possible to grab that?
Yeah, I think it's like it should work with a heel hook. There should be a lot of compression. So I will try once again, but this time I will actually commit.
Come on. On knee bar.
It's like a little bit too far. But I will try it again. Maybe I just put it wrong. But like surprisingly, most of the things worked. So I will try the top part, see if I'm able to stick it, and then do the whole thing from the beginning to the end. So I actually think the knee bar might work if I will place my feet a little bit better, because I think I was standing somewhere here, and if I will stand a little bit further but higher, it will be okay. But I had to change the top for something better. The problem is I also moved it a little bit higher, so it's good, but it's much further away. I guess now I will test the top part, and if it will work, I will do the whole thing from the beginning to the end. Perfect. Okay, so short rest, and let's try to send it all. Oh, that was silly. I had no chalk at the top. Oh, come on.
Do we count that?
No, I will do it again. So I will be using some aid, because like this knee bar isn't like super easy on your skin, and it's a little bit too hot to climb in something else than shorts, and hopefully this will work. Key when you climb on the volumes is like to properly place your hands and feet, because you have a lot of places to grab. So now when I know the problem, I know where I want to have my hands, when I want to have my feet, when I want to like change my grip a little bit. And another thing is to like work as hard as possible with your thumb, because usually you can like squeeze things a little bit. And I think if I will focus on this now, then this problem shouldn't be a problem. If you know what I mean.
Nice.
Nice. My custom-made knee pad worked. So this problem turned out like super cool. I'm very satisfied how it works, about the movement, and as you saw in my first try, it keeps your tension till the very end. But now I'll try to make it a little bit more approachable for Magda, so she would be able to have some fun on it, because this might be a little bit too hard for her.